This next unboxing video is 3 picture books from Simon & Schuster, and it came in a rather large box, but actually, you know, it's not very full, so let's get started. Okay, the first picture book, this is also by North South, is Meet Me by the Sea by Tal Tal Levi. And the first thing I notice is the cover. The sky is very unusual. I see a child with a fox, so that's also not the normal, and a bird, but the sky is what really strikes me. It almost looks like a pan, like a frying pan, but not really. But there's just something like the sea is so flat, but then the sky is so crazy looking. So anyway, Meet Me by the Sea. There's definitely something going on with the ocean. So the end papers are brown compared to the cover with like the greens and the blues, but there's definitely like fox action. So I don't know if this is the same fox that seems to be friends with the little boy or not, or it could be a little girl, not sure. And so it looks like a contemporary house, and like, oh, here's like a little sort of hint of a kid's drawing about a fox. And so this boy feels, you know, maybe lonely, but feels happier outside. And there's sort of this fox coming and going. And it looks like this boy is going to spend the night outside by himself, which is pretty brave. And that allows him to strike up this friendship with the fox, or him or her. Oh, but then apparently it was an unsanctioned outdoor sleepaway, camp out, and this child was not so invisible, and the parents were freaked out and worried maybe, or maybe just happy to see their child. And so the kid goes back with his family, but he's made this friend, as we can see from the cover. So it's a little bit of a unusual story, but I guess the message is that everybody matters more than you think. I don't know. So this next book is In My Dreams I Can Fly, and it is by Eveline, Hasler, and Kathi Bhend, also a North-South book. And you know, this cover, it's like it's snowing, and then they're underground, and it's this, you know, whole root system home for these like worms, caterpillars. No, more like worms. And like the illustrations kind of remind me of like James and the Giant Peach. I don't know if anyone remembers like the old illustrations. A little bit like that, huh? Because they're very anthropomorphic. And, oh, there's a ladybug too. It's like a little bit of a party. And then there's this key. So I don't know what the key has to do with this. But In My Dreams I Can Fly. And here we have a earthworm digging a tunnel. So the worm is definitely like a big part of this book. And it's, oh, so they're 5 friends, these 5 insects and worms, which I guess are not insects. And they are, I guess, preparing for winter. And oh, it's so cute. Their homes are all connected by tunnels. Like, I actually didn't know. Oh, so it's not in Ladybug, I think. Or is it? I didn't know ladybugs have homes underground. But, so anyways, they have a home underground. And they hang out together. They play cards. I really love these underground illustrations, like of the hangout. I mean, it's just so detailed and whimsical, and like look how it just really like grabs your eye on the page, and it's a very good use of white space. I also like how they connected the spread, like with the tunnels going from one to the other. I don't know. It's really beautifully designed. And like kind of the outline, like you can, it's like this side's kind of the map, and then this is sort of the close-up detail. it's very beautiful. So anyway, so we have our insects huddled together. I mean, like, you know, they live in these, like, you know, like this is how they travel back and forth. And, you know, they're sort of preparing for winter. And here comes winter. It's definitely, you know, a snowy winter. And, you know, they're getting ready for spring or longing for spring. And then, oh, look at this bulb. I don't know. These illustrations really are kind of blowing me away. The theme also, too, reminds me a little bit of Frederick, the mouse, you know, hanging out with his friends and kind of dreaming about the end of winter and how hard it is to kind of get through winter, which I can totally relate to, living here in Boston. My husband hates winter. But then, like, today is actually the first day of spring, and like isn't this a beautiful, happy illustration? For us, too, like, when our bulbs first break through the ground, it is, like, the happiest day ever, because we feel like winter is over. And, yeah, I mean, the thing of, I don't totally know what this book is about, because I didn't read it, but I will read it, but I don't like to show, like, all of the book, because I feel like that violates the copyright. But the illustrations are kind of spectacular. And, you know, so if this is a story more about friendship and less about the reality of a nonfiction, you know, insects living underground, that's fine by my book. So anyway, the last book is Robert and the World's Best Cake. And this is by Anne-Kathrin Behl. So I don't know if you guys are watching the Great British Bake Off, but I have been a little bit addicted to that show. It got me through the COVID pandemic, because it was just so happy, and people were so nice, and the food challenges were so interesting, and the creations were so spectacular. I just really loved that show. And it had diversity too, which was great. So I hope this is, I don't know if this is a cake competition or just somebody who loves to bake. Either way, it's fine by me. But it's kind of whimsical because it's not the most perfect cake, and there's unusual things sticking out of the cake. It's almost more like a sandcastle that's like a cake, because like I see pencils and little toys and trucks nearby. But maybe it's an actual cake. Let's see. Oh, and oh my gosh, I love end papers that are kind of like wallpaper. Like you could, you know, it's just so pretty and happy. All right, so this book is actually translated. And the original story was in German. And wow, it's just so full of color and life. And it's really arresting, like the bright colors. And so anyway, so Robert and his dad have a day off, and they decide how will they spend their day. Oh, Robert will bake a cake to have a party. Always a good idea. So he sends out invitations, and his invitations, oh no, because he's doing it outside with his dad. They are not being delivered as he expected. They're being blown out into the world. But he still finds 2 left, so he decides, oh, I'll have a party just for the 2 of us. And he decides he will get started. So they bake a cake, and it is a real cake. And he bakes, yeah, is he baking a real cake? Yeah, no, it's real batter. And he bakes like a gigantic cake. And the invitations, which got delivered by the wind, start to get returned. And so that's how they get a lot of guests. And like interesting guests too. Like here we have Mr. Octopus and Giraffe and an indeterminate animal. It looks like a shaggy dog, a horse, everyone is interested in this cake party, and why not? Luckily, Robert made an enormous cake, and yeah, looks like it's going to be a fun party. So those are the 3 books. Thank you to North South for both boxes of books, and thank you for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy these books too.